Last year, I did something I never thought I would do. I got rid of my entire luxury designer closet. All of my high-end designer handbags, gone. Almost all of my high-end designer shoes, gone. 70% of my clothes ranging from high-end to fast fashion, gone. And guess what happened? I was met with ridicule, assumptions. I lost thousands of subscribers and followers across all of my social media platforms. And along the way, I uncovered many ugly truths about the luxury industry, which only added to my disappointment. It shattered everything I once believed about fashion, our identity, and our psychology. But what shocked me the most was how freeing it all felt. You see, making that video was one of the hardest and riskiest videos I have ever made, because for the last several years, I have built a community of fashion lovers who were interested in luxury fashion and trusted my recommendations. I was generating good side income from making fashion content, but it didn't matter anymore. What matters most to me is being honest with myself and my community and creating content that feels like there's a point to it all. I just wanted to feel fulfilled and inspired to create again. And for me, the only way to feel that is when I know I am making an impact. So I took a break, a long break, and I used that time to really look inwards and ask myself, what kind of content would make an impact and keep me feeling fulfilled? And I realized in that moment that I had a choice. Keep feeding the toxic cycle of overconsumption or use my voice to help break it. Luxury brands, the media, influencers, they've all sold us the same story, that status, happiness, and self-worth can be bought. So many of us believed it. I believed it. And I created content that promoted it, and it makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. But the more I learned what really happens behind the scenes of these so-called luxury brands, the more disillusioned I became. There is nothing luxurious about manipulation, exploitation, or addiction to image. If you've ever felt the need to buy something just to feel like you are good enough, you've already experienced the power of neuromarketing, and it's no accident. It's designed that way. But through this journey, here's what I have come to believe real luxury actually is. It's waking up to slow mornings with my babies. It's feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually well. It's living simply with fewer distractions and more peace. It's deep connection, lifelong learning, creative expression, and fulfillment in the everyday. I still love fashion, and I always will, but now it doesn't own me. I buy less, but I buy with purpose. I still clear out my wardrobe, and I clear it out way more often than I add to it. And surprisingly, I feel more stylish and more me than ever before. And this shift has brought me clarity, confidence, and alignment. It's taught me to value how I feel in my clothes, not just how they look. And most importantly, it's helped me stay grounded in a world that constantly tries to sell us more and more and more. Because in my opinion, true style has nothing to do with status and everything to do with authenticity. I made that video during a time in my life when I was experiencing a radical growth spurt, and I felt so disconnected to everything around me. At the time, it felt so risky, and now that I've had time to reflect, I'm so glad I did it. And as more truth continues to surface about the realities of the luxury fashion industry, I feel even more repulsed by what I used to support. Yes, other creators were also making similar videos and all had valid reasons as to why they decided to purge their wardrobes and their closets, but mine were deeply internal. I wasn't trying to follow a trend, I was just trying to find myself. I had felt disconnected for as long as I could remember, and becoming a mother cracked me wide open. It forced me to look inward and ask myself the harder questions. Who am I really? What do I value? Why am I feeling so misaligned? So I began the process of purging, starting with my closet, but it didn't stop there. I removed my tattoos, I sold my hair extension business, I let go of personal belongings, relationships, and distractions that no longer aligned with who I was becoming. And I'm sure many of you are going to point out my jewelry and certain luxury items that I still have from my old wardrobe. And no matter how many times I try to justify the reasoning behind it, the only person that I care about making proud is myself. So yes, I'm going to hang on to certain things because it doesn't make sense for me to purge them. And a lot of those things I've kept because they have a really deep sentimental meaning behind them. But the point is, I needed a blank canvas to begin again, to create space for clarity, for healing, for purpose. I also needed time to focus on building Ari Blake, my baby brand, a mission-driven project I've poured my heart and soul into over the past 2.5 years. It has become the vessel for everything I stand for: connection, intentional living, and making a positive impact on this planet. So through this journey, I have learned so many lessons, and I want to share with you the most important lessons I learned internally and externally. The internal lessons that I learned from this process was I finally understood what I like, what I don't, and what I feel my best in. I love color, but I don't love how I feel when I wear color. I realize that having a predominantly neutral color scheme in my wardrobe works best for me. Not only is it so much easier to get dressed now, I just feel more confident, more stylish without even trying. I used to spend hours shopping, trying to keep up with the trends and feeding an endless content cycle. Now I shop my closet first, and when I buy something new, it's because it's either truly something special or I love it viscerally and not because it is a trend. I look for quality and craftsmanship, not just a label. And I also realized that I have a uniform. I think this is so important for so many of us to understand what is the uniform that you feel you're best in. And for me, it's matching sets, it's vests, it's tailored suiting, it's blazers or tops that have a strong, bold shoulder. I don't like wearing clothes that is too fitted, that has too many loud patterns or colors on it. And I know that a lot of people do, and it works for them. And I love that all of us are so different in what makes us feel and look our best. And I just want to encourage more of that. And in order to do that, sometimes you do need to purge everything or majority of what you have to really see the bare bones of your wardrobe and decide what it is you reach for again and again and again. Fashion no longer consumes me. I no longer feel the need to perform for an audience or feed an algorithm. And most importantly, I've stopped lying to myself about the stories brands tell us. Stories like you're buying an investment, or you deserve to treat yourself, or this is what success looks like. These are all marketing lies, I promise you. They're carefully crafted using neuromarketing tricks like scarcity, exclusivity, and emotional manipulation. And the saddest part, even many influencers know about this, but they won't say it because it threatens their career. This is why this issue is either being skirted under the rug or justified to protect their brand. And honestly, I get that. It's really unfortunate that so many fashion creators are stuck in this uncomfortable position that is threatening their livelihood. But at the same time, it really saddens me because it enables these luxury brands to continue doing what they're doing. Let's have a moment of honesty. You're not paying for quality, you're paying for status. I know that may be a hard truth to swallow, but my job is just to give you the facts. And I will never judge or tell someone how to live their life. But if I can help you make better choices for yourself and your future, I am happy to be a voice of reason. Some of the external lessons I learned was that purging allowed me to realign my life with what actually matters. As a mom of two and a business owner, I don't have time or patience for uncomfortable outfits. I parted ways with most of my heels. I dress for my lifestyle and my health. I don't dress myself anymore for outdated standards of femininity. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why women are expected to dress a certain way? Such as, why are we still wearing high heels? Why are we wearing tight-fitting clothes? Why do we feel the need to put on a whole face of full coverage makeup where you can't even see your natural skin underneath? And to whose benefit is all of this? Let me tell you one thing, it is not to yours. I've never felt more myself walking into a room in flats, no makeup, and a heart full of confidence. Authenticity is far sexier than any luxury can sell you. I now have more time for what brings me joy, like playing tennis, traveling, feeling stronger, growing mentally, deepening my relationships with the people that mean the most to me, having real and meaningful conversations. Fashion used to dominate my thoughts because it was so deeply weaved into my livelihood, and now it's just a small part of a much richer life. I'm no longer chasing the next trend or it item, and I clear out more than I bring in, and that to me feels so powerful. I want to remind you guys that at the end of the day, real happiness can only come from within. I know that some people were commenting that I was shaming others for loving luxury. I hear you. That was never my intention. I would never judge how someone chooses to spend their money, but I do think we have a very twisted understanding of what luxury really is. Most of these brands are not really luxurious from a quality and craftsmanship point of view. When I was working on my baby brand, I thoroughly tested and approved every single detail, from the fabric to the hardware to the craftsmanship. My baby carriers are made of the finest materials and cost tremendously more to make than the infamous $57 Dior book tote that most people have already forgotten because of intelligent marketing. So trust me, I really know the difference between real luxury and non-real luxury. And I will say another thing. If you're buying something thinking it will make you happier, cooler, or more worthy, please know that's not real joy. That's dopamine. It's a fleeting high like a drug, and brands have learned exactly how to manipulate us into chasing it. There is no elite cool club. Most people are faking it. Most people are wearing a mask. True happiness can only come from within, by doing the hard work, by healing old traumas, by loving and accepting yourself for who you are and letting go of what no longer serves you. I took a sacred pause from YouTube to figure out what kind of content I truly wanted to create. Because if I'm honest, I felt lost and uninspired for a really, really long time. I didn't want to post just to keep up. I wanted to show up with purpose. And now that I'm finally ready, my mission is so clear. I want to create content that empowers you to live a more intentional life from the inside out. I want to help you feel confident being exactly who you are. This doesn't mean I'm turning my back on fashion. I still love it. It will always be a part of who I am, but I'm approaching it differently now. I no longer want it to be my job, and I'm okay with it being my hobby. I'm here to create from the heart, to share my growth, and hopefully inspire yours. Whether it's through building Ari Blake, motherhood, wellness, or slow, intentional living, I'm committed to showing up in a way that aligns with my values and serves this community with authenticity. Because I truly believe that when you strip away the noise, the distractions, and the lies that we're being told, we all have the potential to become the most empowered, fulfilled versions of ourselves. And if my story helps even one person do that, it is all worth it. This is what you can expect from this channel from now on. I promise to continue sharing the fashion content you know and love, but more mindfully and with the purpose of helping you become your most confident self without promoting overconsumption. I promise to share the real luxuries in my life that have made it profoundly more rich in ways that no material things can replace. I promise to help you learn and to continue growing and continuing to become a better version of yourself every single day. And if this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, click the subscribe button and let's start making positive changes together.